So going back to Gaza, that's a wedge issue. They want to avoid the wedge issue. So they don't invite a Palestinian American to speak at the convention. They're afraid of a wedge issue.
Ridiculous.
When it comes to abortion, it's kind of a wedge issue. So they accentuate the notion that the only reason women should have abortions is in case their lives are threatened, which is a very real concern, obviously. But there's other reasons women want abortions than if their lives are threatened. But they don't want to say that. They're a chicken. They're afraid to say that, Laurie. Glenn, you know that as well as I do.
No, believe me. Women and men have sex all the time. And it's unprotected because they're in a moment of heat and passion. And then they get pregnant and they go, oh, shit, that was a bad idea. And you know what? It may be because they're children. Or they don't want it. It doesn't even matter. I've never known a man to go to prison because he wasn't wearing a condom. Okay? So I'm like, why don't we put that penis in jail? Why aren't we going after all the men who got the women pregnant? That's what I want to know. But that's because we're prudes as a nation. We still think women are evil and that if we like sex, oh my God, that's a terrible thing. And people want to control women. That's it. That bottom line, they're afraid of women. And now that women have gotten some power in the world, they're trying to take it back and walk it back and convincing other women that's a good thing. Like, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, you never want to have an abortion out there. Please don't. But do not tell me what to do with my body.
Yeah.
Because you feel something, that's great. I don't believe in God. I think you believe in God. And I respect that you do, but I don't understand how you do. I never have.
Yeah.
But I respect you. And I respect that you seem to need all sorts of things in the world. I don't. Okay. And so you do your thing. And that's what's the beauty about democracy. You get to go to church. You get to go believe in all sorts of things. Now, if I'm a Democratic strategist right now, what I would be doing is saying, this is insane, like what this guy is talking about, and call out Netanyahu continued his war. 50, 60,000 people dead to elect Donald Trump. He is a war criminal. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a message you can put out. By the way, that was a great riff you had, and I just underscored, put the penis in jail. Elect Laurie Glenn, president, put the penis in jail. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
It's funny, but I'm going to go back in time. You and I are boomers, so I'll just briefly go back in time. When McGovern ran, and actually I said 92, but the evolution of the centrists began with the conclusions they drew from the 72 presidential election and Clinton himself said, we can't be this left. We have to go to the center. And that's what they've been doing ever since. Right. But I remember the words, the phrase that the Republicans used against the Democrats: abortion, acid, and amnesty. And those had meaning in the context, the political context of the time. Abortion is the same. Acid has to do with drug use. So the country's come along and got drug use. I mean, like we've basically legalized reefer in state after state. It's a losing issue for the Republicans or MAGA to say they want to keep marijuana illegal. And then the notion of amnesty is the notion that the United States will not be fighting wars throughout the world. Well, Trump has embraced that. Just imagine, Laurie, as if instead of running away from this phrase, amnesty, acid, and abortion, the Democrats had embraced it. Like, that's what the Republicans have done. The Republicans have taken the worst things Democrats could say about them. They've embraced them. And guess what? They moved the conversation to accept them.
Right. Because you see, yes. So we all know that people are are very often fear driven. Okay. And I kind of want to change this discussion a little bit, because right now I'm seeing on the Hill, because I get these news feeds like
Go ahead.
constantly.
Tell us what you're seeing.
Judge rails against Trump in blocking birthright executive order for second time. So again, I go back, like, we are a nation of immigrants. We all come from somewhere else. Even the Native Americans crossed an isthmus to come to this country. So we are all immigrants. Okay. So to turn immigrant, my grandparents were immigrants. Oh, those people from the Mayflower, they were immigrants, into a dirty word. Okay, Democratic Party, why would you not why are we not embracing our immigrants and our language around immigrants? Bring them in.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? We were in the boundary waters in Minnesota 4 or 5 years ago 5 years ago, because Trump was in office and he had ended all those special visas. And these were for people from Europe and white people, okay, from Poland and Switzerland and other places. Half of the town we were in was shut down. The restaurants were shut down. The hotels were shut down. The shops were shut down because there were no workers. Now, again, who do we want to be Americans? Oh, I know. I want someone who wants to be here. I want someone who goes, oh my God, those American values, truth, liberty, oh my God, equality, those are Americans. Right now, you've got people calling immigrants names, horrifying, marginalizing, treating them like they're animals. Oh, and by the way, you know what immigrants are? They're people. They're human people. They each have an individual name and an individual story. The Democratic Party should be highlighting the humanity of America. So I'm sorry, but I've had it.
I'm with you on this. Yep, 100%.
Oh, I know it's been a really tough time and it's really hard. Yeah. Well, you all wanted the power, okay? You did. You wanted to be the big time consultants. You wanted to be the big time elected officials. Well, now go do your fucking job.
Yeah.
And that means stop just pussyfooting around and being nice to people. I don't need you to be nice. You know what? This is the time for revolutionaries. The revolutionary moment, not like radical throwing bombs. I mean, stabilizing our government. Isn't that revolutionary right now? Telling people that they can't just come in and blow up our systems. Telling people, I mean, the Republican Party has been destroyed by their own lack of morality, their own fear, their own greed, their own desire for power. Okay, Democratic Party, show me something different. Show me as leaders that you're willing to lose everything to save our democracy. Because that's what I want. I want, I heard that J.D. Pritzker went to meet with Schumer with a bunch of governors to say, maybe Mr. Schumer, you should be doing more. No. You know what, J.D. Pritzker, you go out and do more. And Whitmer, you go out to do more. And Cori Bush, I want to hear your voice. I want to hear all these people's voices saying, I care about my democracy. I will go to jail for my democracy. I will put myself on the line for our democracy.
Wait, why'd you throw Cori Bush in the middle of there?
What?
Why'd you throw Cori Bush in the middle of that?
Because I want to hear all of them. I want to hear them. I don't want to just hear some individual voices.
Right.
Too. Okay. I want to see a united Democratic Party. I don't know what they think they're doing, but they are blowing it.
So let me ask you this. Do you believe, so the strategy, obviously, if you can call it that Schumer is following, if he has a strategy,
what is the strategy?
The strategy is that old school strategy that I've been hearing my whole life following politics.
Oh my God.
I've said this on the show many times. It's where the leader of the party allows the members of his or her voting block to vote their district.
Oh,
issue by issue. That's
no.
the old Pelosi, Michael Joseph Madigan
Well,
strategy.
times are
And-
over.
And so that's why you allow Fetterman in a divided state to
No.
lead
See,
the Democrat. So you say that old strategy is gone. They should embrace a new one. Go ahead.
first of all, they have to retire. We need young people in our party, okay? And stop it. You know I spend most of my time now trying to build young leadership. I know my time is coming to an end. The clock is ticking. Okay? So Nancy Pelosi, where are the 100 young organizers? And I want to know, are they being trained? Are they going to go into communities across America? Look, the Electoral College is not going away. What is the strategy to build a base in these communities? And don't tell me it can't be done, because people have done it and we need to listen to them. It's over. Go away. Let other people in.
So going back to the Fetterman,
Go.
you would, if you were Chuck Schumer, what a thought. You would say to Fetterman, we're going to primary someone against you.
Yeah, I would say you're a fucking asshole. I don't care if you win the next election. There might not be a next election. I mean, I've gotten talking points from people. He doesn't have coattails. He didn't win by a very big margin. We're going to get him in 2 years. What the fuck is 2 years from now going to look like? These guys have a plan. This is not the same old, same old. Come on, step up. This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry. I could just imagine Laurie Glenn as the Senate Majority Leader calling Fetterman into her office to go, "You're a fucking asshole."
That's right. And don't
vote
tell me
no.
That's right. You have to be unified. Oh, my district. Fuck your district. There may not be districts because they don't want more elections. And until you show the American public what you really believe in, and that you're really going to create a plan. Show me a plan. Show me an action plan. Okay? You can say, oh, Laurie's an idiot. Oh, what does she know? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. Tell me what to do. Tell me what will work now. You know what I think will work now? Do something. And do it with unity. And stop fucking around. That's what I would say.
Well,
and start speaking from your heart.
Yeah.
And stop all these stupid, oh my God, we can't say this, we can't say that. Say it. That's what he did. He said it from his heart, and that resonated with people.
I don't know if it's from his heart.
Honest.
I'd actually time out. I do not believe when it comes to Donald Trump that anything he says is from his heart. I don't even know if Donald Trump has a heart. When you think of heart as a metaphorical thing,
I meant he's a walking id. It doesn't matter where it's from, but he says, you know what he says? He says what the worst thing people think.
Yeah.
And you know what we should be saying? We should be saying, maybe you think this and say it, but you know why that's not okay? Because of this, and this, and address it. And they're not doing that because they're afraid. Everybody, they are afraid. I understand fear. I am afraid. I'm barely sleeping. I'm like millions. I am sure 75 million Americans today are like, what do we do? What is going to happen next? But you see, that's what they want. And that's why I'm saying Democratic Party, I don't give a shit what Donald Trump does next. I want to know what you are doing now. And I want to know that you've put the best minds, even if I hate their fucking guts, some of them, you put them in a room together and you hammer something out, but across the board. And this whole Big Tent thing, well, I don't want to hurt so-and-so's feelings. Well, get rid of them. Who cares?
Well, my own one issue with putting these strategists in a room is that most of these strategists concocted or followed the strategy that you're ripping. And so I'm just saying, I don't see anything
but what
in your
I'm
past.
saying is then bring in the young people. Let them lead. Why aren't we getting them engaged and let them lead? We were the young people. Don't trust anyone over 30. You're now 80. Wait a minute, that's 50 years later.
Yeah, and just think of the baby boomer model. I hate to say it, boomers. But when I go back, the lesson the baby boomers learned when they were Z's, if you think about it that way, was that we have to betray all our principles and values in order to get elected. And that's the lesson that Bill Clinton took from 1972. And that's the lesson he employed in 1992 when he got elected. And that's the lesson that he led with. And that's the lesson that he and Rahm and all their other strategists broadcast constantly as they maligned the left and said you're out of touch. The people, remember when Rahm said in the oh my God, in the after he left office, he said it was a losing issue to talk about healthcare. And that's what he said. This is the mind of the man viewed by mainstream Democrats as the great political mind. And in 2019, he said, we used to make fun of him on the show all the time. He went on a bike ride around Michigan. I'm making this up. He went around, he just left the city of Chicago, and he said, I talked to people wherever I went, and nobody said anything about healthcare. And that was his conclusion that he drew from a bike ride. I'm like, why is anybody listening to this? And now, of course, I fundamentally believe that the issue of national health care is like the issue of abortion. It's an issue which Democrats chickened out on. Just to your point, I agree with you, Laurie. You're absolutely correct. They run away from taking a strong stand because they're worried about the wedge. And they're worried about, they got to figure out some kind of way to paper it over. So yeah, I agree with your passion and your points that you made. I'm just not certain that putting the same old strategists in a room would help. Because
no, I understand, but look at, I guess what I'm saying is that leadership itself. Okay, look, if I could, I would fire a lot of that leadership and say, time to go, hasta la vista. But we can't, because we have put a structure together, right? It's called our government and our Constitution. So I'm trying to respect that because you see why we need to put that forward, that it's one thing to reform a system. No one's going to deny you need to keep systems on their toes. Bureaucracies can become innately corrupt. It's just the way it is. At the same time, this is an incredible system that we created. And again, I have traveled all over the world in my little entitled life. I have lived in other countries. No other country has had the freedoms that we have here today. And let me say, when they start disappearing, watch.
Yeah.
Then you will regret, because then it's too late. So you know what? I want to see a 3-fire alarm. I want to see I don't want it to just be Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, who I love. Okay. They are great people. I want to see unity. I want to see fucking Chuck Schumer with all the other leadership together saying we are standing up for our Constitution. That's what I want to see. I want to see them organizing. And for once, you don't tell me that your field operation was so good. You came in a year earlier or 2 years. That's bullshit. You have got to decide to organize and respect the people in those communities who have been abandoned, and they have been by the Democratic Party. And you go in there and apologize genuinely and start putting money in your field, in the people, in understanding that you are not going to win through social media. You're not, because you're not even doing that well.
Yeah.
So I want to see a field. I don't mean just a field organization. I want to see a strategy for taking back America. And I have not seen that. They have a plan. They did. They showed it to us. And I want to ask all of you leaders, they showed it to us. You knew about it. And why weren't you ready for it when they started to implement it? Where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
In Bermuda? I don't know. Were you on vacation? I mean, I know I was in Mexico on vacation, but I'm not an elected official. Okay? That was your job.
All right, we have run out of time. That last line was a good one. Where the fuck were you? This was classic Laurie Glenn, and speaking from her heart, saying what she feels. And she's been saying pretty much what she feels since I met her 5 billion years ago.
I know.
And it's interesting. Let's see if they listen to her now.
I am Cassandra, unfortunately.
And we didn't even get to the Del Marie question, which we'll get to another time. But anyway, thank you very much, Laurie. Appreciate it as always. And talk to you real soon. All right.
Thank you.
That's great, Laurie Glenn. Also want to thank producer Chris. He does an outstanding job. And I know one thing Laurie and Chuck Schumer agree on is, hey, producer Chris, give yourself a raise. Take it out of petty cash. Peace and love, everybody.